a civilization is underpinned by stories. And at the moment, our stories are just completely inadequate. And we need to learn how to turn off the stories that we get bombarded with all the time about, this lipstick will make you happy and this hair shampoo will improve your love life or whatever. It's about trying to turn those stories off and actually give birth to stories that actually will hold us through the next 20 years, I think. Part of transition, I think, really is about capturing new stories about where we go. And so in many ways, what transition projects are doing around the world is telling new stories about the town that prints its own money, about the town that digs up its school car park and makes a vegetable garden. Well, here in Totnes, we started out in 2005 with myself and a colleague just showing films and doing talks. And then in September 2006, we held what we called the official unleashing of Transition Town Totnes, which was a big event. About 400 people came, and it was a big launch. And then groups began to form around food and energy and housing and medicine and so on. A number of practical projects have started to emerge, like the Totnes Pound, and a number of local food projects like the Local Food Directory and the Garden Share Scheme. And then about a year ago, we started a process towards creating this Energy Descent Plan, which is a plan B for Totnes, based on what does the development of this town look like if it's based on peak oil and climate change.
Very quickly, people could see that by being creative in their thinking, there were so many ideas that we could come up with, and how this would link in with all sorts of other very good things happening. And this was a very important part of the process for people to recognise that becoming creative and opening up was actually essential to making a really good plan. So with that in mind, we then took the process to the next stage and said, OK, we've created these visions. If we put the visions in the middle of our plan now, how do we get there? From food, from transport, from energy, what do we need to put in place? Often we think that we have to know so much. We have to be experts on transport. We have to be experts on wind turbines to be able to say what we should be doing. And actually, we need to, as a community, say that this is the main way that we need to move. And then the experts come in and just tinker with our plans.
I don't even know if yet we can say we know what transition is. Transition is really a process of exploring what's best practice in terms of how to set up currencies or food systems or local energy or companies, these kind of things. And gathering people together who are similarly passionate about it. Starting an awareness-raising program that leaves people inspired and wanting more rather than feeling suicidal. It's about forming a number of working groups to start looking at different aspects of this, having a big launch event, using tools like Open Space to facilitate big community brainstorming events, and then building up then to the creation of a plan B for the community, and then starting to implement that and drive it forward.
Look at the whole picture. So if we look at climate change and people together, the kind of ideas that tend to come up are relocalising things, so making ourselves more resilient in our local communities, bringing food production more local to where we live, and our jobs closer to where we live.
Actually saying we are a transition town is a very powerful statement of intent, I think, which a lot of people find very useful.